Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Olmsted, if I could direct perhaps my comments to you on it. Earlier, you were in the room when I think you were in the room when we were asking the previous speaker about whether this idea of maintenance, routine maintenance, and what we're going, because I'd had conversations with some utility companies that have considered replacing the fins on their boiler as routine maintenance, and that's apparently been deemed that is a routine maintenance type of work. So if that's the case, that they can maintain their existing boiler, which is probably inefficient because it's 40 or 50 years old. And then I go back to what Congressman Tonko and I we've been working on now for 3 or 4 years, getting research money to upgrade and improve our turbine efficiency. Here we have an opportunity to replace, we can either replace the fins due to turbidity or erosion or whatever that might have caused and keep the efficiency low, or we can use the research that we've paid for to implement a new technology, a new boiler in that, and improve the efficiency, the operation of that plant. But in so doing, that potentially triggers and likely triggers an NSR. And then you have to keep into consideration that from the February testimony that we had here, that you can go back as long as there's 700. I think Mr. Allen, you said that there's 700 documents that we have to be filed to comply. But in Region 9, the average approval is 777 days to get that approval. You may find you may not. It's over 2 years to get an answer of whether or not you're going to be in compliance with the NSR. How would you react to that? Am I reasonable about what's the incentive for people to improve the efficiency of their plant if it may take 2.5 years to get the approval?
Well, you've highlighted a big problem that in a series of cases, EPA has argued that if you improve the efficiency of a power plant, you trigger NSR. So it might be in your interest to invest in something that would reduce your CO2 emission rate. It would reduce the emission rate of other pollutants. But here's the theory that Bruce has propounded in several cases. If you make your plant more efficient, you will reduce the operating costs. So the cost of producing a megawatt hour will go down. That will make you more competitive than other plants, so your plant will run more often, will run more hours. So the claim is that if you make your plant a little bit more efficient, you might have lower operating cost, therefore you would run more hours. Therefore, you can't make your efficiency improvement unless you go through this NSR process that can take, for a coal-fired power plant, 2 years would be the blink of an eye. And you might have to install brand new controls that would cost several $100 million. So how many companies are actually going to make a decision to become more efficient if those are the consequences?
Thank you. I yield back.